For Rwanda, Manzi, number 6. Keep an eye on him. Shayaka, number 10. Ndizai was interesting in the latter stages of the game. Jean-Paul was good, as well as Kenny Gasana, obviously, and Kami Kabange. So Gasana, Kabange, Shayaka, Manzi, and the veteran point guard Aristide Mugabe will be in that starting 5. Maybe the most talented all-round player in that team is Fofana, and of course you have to talk about Diabate, who is an exceptional talent. You cannot fall asleep on him. Paulo Povia, the head coach of Cote d'Ivoire. I saw Bojnak, the coach of Rwanda, and he really managed the team well yesterday. He called his timeouts at the right time. He kept their focus. Well, good afternoon, folks. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. We're in Lagos, Nigeria for the African Qualifier for the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Rwanda and Cote d'Ivoire, and it's Cote d'Ivoire in the orange that have started proceedings here. It's Fofana. Got to keep an eye on him. He's a talent, and he comes right out and gets himself on the scoreboard. Well, in fact, his name's already on the scoreboard, but he gets 2 points. Gasana, his pass batted away, and Fofana goes in and then missed the layup, wanted the foul. His appeals fall on deaf ears. Kanga drills it. Brian Pamba misses with the left-handed shot. And Manzi, and nobody boxed out as Shayaka comes in and scores. Eddie Aboa didn't get anything from him really yesterday. Cote d'Ivoire. Gasana had a 4-point play late in the game that kept his team in the hunt. He also made a 3-pointer, but then missed the free throw. That was earlier in the game. Kenny Gasana, for you American sports fans, played at Boise State in American college basketball, NCAA. Aboa puts his head down, gets in the lane. And a foul has been called. Who misses the first one. Gasana, in fact, is from the Kigali province of Rwanda. As Cote d'Ivoire draw to within a point. But he actually makes San Antonio his home. That's a basketball city, isn't it? He could be neighbors with the likes of Manu Ginobili or Greg Popovich. Nice turnaround jump shot from Kanga. And the drive and the putback no good. Cone able to pass the ball back outside. Again, a miss. And it'll stay at this end of the court. So Kami Kabanga got his second basket. He's got 4 points. There's Eddie. Guy Eddie, another that knows a little bit about American college basketball. Of course, he played for Gonzaga. He's now 29 years of age. Another foul called on Pamba. Wrapping up Gazana. Charles Abuo played, in fact, at Brigham Young in Utah. So a lot of the players that you do see in these African national teams have had experiences overseas in America. A lot of them play in France professionally. For example, Diabate Dan Manzi drills the three-pointer. The more you watch him, the more you like his game. He's almost automatic. That's why they call him Dan the Man. Dan the Manzi. Pamba. And then he's bumped by Mugabe out on the perimeter. Long shot no good, and Manzi gets the rebound, hands it off. Beautiful pass from Kami. Now, Fofana once again with his defense. And then he finishes the fast break. Fofana flying in. There's a great story, a great interview with Dan Manzi on FIBA Basketball talking about Rwanda before the qualifiers. And see the jump ball call. Dan Manzi, and having watched them play yesterday, you would have been left with the impression you'd understand why he said it as they played against Senegal. And what he said was, other than talking about being an honor to represent Rwanda and to get to the second round, said every time they go out against any team, they think they can get a win. He said they think they have a chance to compete and to be able to qualify for the World Cup. Although he didn't say they would qualify, understanding how tall of an order it is. But you go to World Cup Basketball and you got a lot of good interviews and features, and you learn more about these players. Fofana now And Fofana looks and drives in and dunks, and nobody stepped over. That might get a timeout from Bosniak. Well, maybe not. And another fast break, and this time Abua. Manzi over to Gasana for three. Actually, that was Abua. It was Diabate who got the assist on that last basket from Abua. But Gasana and his three-point shot, well, that's always a factor. Diabate. Alley-oop pass, nope. Cone. I think Fofana probably the most athletic of these Cote d'Ivoire players. Now Gasana launches one from deep. He goes down, perhaps looking to get a foul called like he got yesterday. Bua gets it to Fofana again. 8 seconds and on the shot clock, and a foul was called. By the way, Cameroon have come from behind to win 84-74 over Morocco, so they bounced back from their tough loss to Angola and stay firmly in the hunt for a spot in the World Cup. That's a tough loss for Morocco because they were up in that game. Well, 14-11 now. Cote d'Ivoire on top. And another miss. And here comes Pamba.
Look at me, hey! Regarde-moi, je te dis, oh là là!
Cote d'Ivoire passes inside, and good strong move from Ajehi. And three-pointer's good. We saw him make an impact yesterday in Desai, not so much in the first half, but in the second, just started making some crazy plays. And the drive and basket again for Fofana. I don't think they've got an answer for him. this time. And Desai off target. So Ajehi, he's a good, strong physical player. Ajehi Barou from Bingerville, Cote d'Ivoire, played for the College of Charleston. Yet another of the players who honed their skills. He's now 26. And Rwanda struggling to put the ball in the basket right now. And up ahead it goes to Fofana. Great overhead pass. Fofana is ruling the roost right now. He has 8 points. And that was a great pass by Diabate. That's the type of thing that Diabate can do. The point guard inside, able to make this pass. Pinpoint perfection. And flushed by his teammate. Diabate, longtime pro in the French League. Sagambat, three-pointer's good. They don't go away, folks. They do not go away. Eddie out on the perimeter. Here he is in the right corner. Front and back of the rim stays out, and Gasana with the rebound. In Desai. Ball goes out of bounds. Puhuhulo didn't get many minutes yesterday. So, Cote d'Ivoire just keeping their noses in front right now of Rwanda.
Don't shoot, go in, Jimmo. Now, 4. Let's do 4 like this. Pay attention. Ball is here. 5. Adonis. Cash. This guy.
On le laisse, ok? On le laisse. Au pire, s'il l'amène ici, on va aider. Mais sinon, jusqu'à qu'il est là, on les laisse se débrouiller. Il faut tenir, ok? Allez, concentrez et après on a un attaque. Si jamais
Well, this Rwanda team, if you look back at last year's AfroBasket, they started with a 20-point win over Guinea, but then they lost by 18 to Tunisia, who were the eventual champions, and then suffered just a narrow defeat to Cameroon, 81-77. So they possibly, you know, that game itself, if they'd been able to get the result they needed, obviously in that one, they could have progressed to the knockout stage. As it was, they finished down. They finished third in their group. And the drive from Adonis misses. So had it been the AfroBasket before, they would have advanced. Oh, beautiful pass from Diabate. Cote d'Ivoire, they were a big disappointment last year at the AfroBasket. They went 0-3. And Ajehi misses another one. Well, I say they were a big disappointment, but they only lost by 1 to Nigeria. Remember the eventual finalists, and of course they held their own last night against Nigeria before falling. Their big loss was to the Democratic Republic of Congo, losing 81-60, and then they suffered a heavy defeat to Mali. But interesting, they did not have Fofana in that team. And he makes a big difference. So the foul called, and the free throw is made by Ndizai. Second one is missed, so they're not going to be fully punished for fouling him from behind the arc. Also last year, they did not have Ajehi. They're missing quite a few players. So both these teams with different coaches to what they had at the AfroBasket. And of course, they've played qualifying games since then. So right at the end, Cote d'Ivoire almost get a three-pointer. Ajehi pleading his case. Kevi boy, he's a dangerous player. I'm surprised he doesn't get more minutes. Anyway, it's Cote d'Ivoire on top 21-19 after one. Well, those are the numbers. Cote d'Ivoire much better inside the arc, but the three-point shooting has helped Rwanda. Had 3 threes fall. These two teams never short of highlights in their games. Play some exciting basketball. This is Fofana. He's Professor Fofana's the man that really helps them go. Plays in the French league, actually born in Paris, Fofana. Plays for here's Toulon. Now Eddie. Back to Abua. Hits the three-pointer. Well, I said they needed something from him, and he's provided it today. He's got 8 points, a third of their output. Bounce pass. Sigamba. Boy, that was beautiful basketball there. Kaje with the bounce pass. And the finish. Long shot, no good. Gasana now. Brings the ball up the floor, puts up a three. That's his range. Abua. Oh, good play again by Gasana, but couldn't quite get it. And then Fofana goes in, and Adonis, I think, has fouled him. I think he might be going to the line for N1. No, I don't think so. Well, yes, he is. And one for Fofana. Does not convert. However, ball batted out to the perimeter, and another opportunity for Cote d'Ivoire. Rwanda's Serbian coach, Bosniak, see him at the end of the bench there, sizing things up. And Abua puts up an air ball. Now up ahead again to Fofana. He catches it and puts it in. Now 7-point game. He's an opportunist. Certainly he will release early. Get some fast breaks. Here he is. Kenny Gasana. Cone with the rebound. Good job from Kebe to get rid of it without turning it over. Abua drives in, right hand, good. The lead continues to grow. 30-21. And Rwanda starting to flirt with dangerous territory here against Cote d'Ivoire. So Kaji goes out. Adonis has it. It's in the lane and denied. But then Adonis reaches around, gets it back for his team. Ndizai for three. And you could see the coach upset over there on the Cote d'Ivoire bench because he realizes, you know, turnovers can, second chances will kill you as a team. Abua's going to inbound it. Interesting time of the game here. You feel like Cote d'Ivoire could really get on top if they pushed it. And Eddie steps into the jump shot. So dangerous moments here for Rwanda, but Ndizai misses with the three. Don't move the ball quite as well as they were yesterday, Rwanda. Of course, they were hitting some jump shots when they played Senegal. Quick pass to Cone. Kasana, beautiful pass to Adonis. Nice release. Adonis has the flair of the dramatic. I see Dan Manzi back out now. He's kind of a stabilizer for this team. I like it a lot when he's out there. And that was a good finish with Fofana flying right at him. Eddie for three. And Gasana gets it in the lane. And here they are again, Rwanda not going away. They just play under control. They never panic. Lack a little bit defensively sometimes, like on that occasion. Abua drives in. And back to a 6-point lead. I mean, you could say that about most teams defensively is where when they're struggling. That's probably Cameroon's strength, actually. And so they've always got that defense that they can rely on. You even have the likes of Senegal, Nigeria. They tend to drift in and out sometimes on defense. Comes the other way. Wow. And you get into this situation where you're not taking advantage of some opportunities, and it could come back to bite you, Cote d'Ivoire. There's Pamba trying to get a think to Abua. Struggling offensively today, that's for sure, Rwanda. Ajehi turns, shoots, and I think it goes off Ajehi. Maybe they're going to keep it down here. .422 remaining in this first half. Bamba. Air ball. Abua alertly picks it up. And couldn't quite get it. And Dan Manzi able to bring it down. Oh, dangerous pass. Sagamba. Back to Manzi. That's his spot on the floor. Good! Every time he loves that spot right there on the wing. You know he's going to chuck it up there. And he gets it back to 4 points. The deficit. Now Rwanda need to tighten up this zone. Bua, well, allowing some deep penetration, but good hands from Sagamba. And again, there's Manzi. And fortunately, Cote d'Ivoire's Abua was ready. That was a tough pass. Manzi was able to then catch it before it goes into the backcourt. Sagamba. And a couple of players battling each other for the ball. Haven't gotten much from Shayaka today. That's what Rwanda need. They need somebody else to step up. Bamba. And Manzi again. And even though this Rwanda team has, been off the boil a little bit, they're only down by 4 points. There's Shayaka. See if he can get it going. Nope, short. Pamba trying to throw the alley-oop to Fofana. He brings it back. Jehi. Shot clock about to expire. And the ball goes back over to Rwanda. So timeout on the court.
Deuxième stagger. D'accord? Si ces zones, sur chaque stagger, on a un œil toujours sur le flash. OK? D'accord? Et c'est en ordre de ton.
Fofana with the 14 points, Abua with the 13. They've been the ones that have been the big producers today for Cote d'Ivoire. Diabate has been relatively quiet. Always potential for him to get it going. Of course, he has contributed. Ndizai has the 8 points for Rwanda, who have 5 from Manzi and 5 from Sagamba. Now Manzi on the baseline. And he probably thought that was going down, but it rattled out. Diabate. Kasana. Somebody's got to be open. Oh, get the double team. Somebody's got to be open. And in a half. There's Bamba. Seems reluctant to shoot the jumper. There he is. Yeah, that's all you got to do, Bamba. Bosniak working up a sweat over there on the sidelines. Gisana takes the bump, so he gets free throws. Peabody goes to check on him. His sportsmanship prevails. Oh, what was Diabate doing there? He like lowered his head. And you can see the umpire, or the referee rather, saying he almost gave him a headbutt. So Gisana with the chance, you know, you don't have it going as a team, but you get to the free throw line, see the ball go through the hoop. You know, that's going to potentially help you get it going. And sure enough, he gets it back to a 4-point deficit. Koulibaly looked like he could do. The only thing he could do was score there. He was in such good position. He caught it so close to the basket, but he still missed it. And the ball intercepted. Koulibaly then has it taken away. Good job by Rwanda there. Have to give up on that. Jean-Jacques Nshobo. His last name, you would not believe it if you saw it on the board, the scoreboard. It is unbelievable. And the drive. Jean-Jacques, number 4, his last name is spelled N-S-H-O-B-O, so like Nshobo. Z-W-A-B, Zwab, Y-O-S-E, N-U-M-U-K-I-Z-E, or Z-A, excuse me. "22 letters long, I believe it is." Well, Cote d'Ivoire have got a chance here to add to their cushion before halftime as they look to bounce back from yesterday's defeat to Nigeria. Bamba on the right, and sure enough, hits another one. They've got to hurry. And that is it for the end of the first half. Cote d'Ivoire leading it by 7 points over Rwanda. Five threes for Rwanda, just 3 for Cote d'Ivoire, but Cote d'Ivoire 13 of 13 made shots inside the arc, about double that of Rwanda. Well, here's a look back at some of the action in the first half. Cote d'Ivoire have been on top in this game. Rwanda have been keeping it close. They've gotten it back to within like about 4 points. A few times, but with Bamba hitting that late three-pointer there from the corner, it was enough for the 7-point lead at halftime. Kenny Gasana always with an opportunity to make some big plays for his team, but the man making most of the big plays for Cote d'Ivoire has been Fofana. So we're at halftime. It's 40-33. Cote d'Ivoire on top. We'll be right back. 40-33, Cote d'Ivoire on top of Rwanda at halftime. Still a lot of basketball to be played here in Rwanda. We haven't seen the best from them today, but they haven't been quite the same effective unit offensively that we saw yesterday. And well, maybe we'll see some improvement in that regard. Here in the second half, but tip your hat to Cote d'Ivoire. I mean, they really came out and they played well yesterday. So Abu is a totally different player from yesterday. See the damage that he's been causing. Sonnet has the 7 points and the 4 assists. He has the ability to put some points on the board. Also, they need Dan Manzi, I think, to get going. But Cote d'Ivoire aware after watching this team play yesterday, looking at the game tape, of the danger areas, and that always has something to do with playing that next day as well. Of course, they had less time to rest. They had the late game yesterday, so they've got the second game today, and it could be come tomorrow they'll be feeling it even more so. Day 3, but all the teams are in the same position. That's why it's important really to go deep, I think. You know, use all your players in your squad. Try to keep everybody as fresh as possible. But in those tight games, you know, you also want your best players on the court as much as possible. Remember, top 2 teams from each of the 2 groups, plus the best third place team will advance to the World Cup next year. 5 teams from Africa, 7 from the Americas, 7 plus China from Asia. Oh, nice move from Adonis, didn't finish. Also 12 teams from Europe will be at the World Cup. Eddie gets it inside. Now he's left open and misses it. Remember, folks, you want to follow the game, go to worldcup.basketball, or also load the app, the World Cup app, FIBA Basketball World Cup app, into your smartphone. For all the latest news, stats, information, a lot of interviews, a lot of videos to look at. This is the 3rd day of this window that we've been able to watch games from all zones around the world. It's been an enormous success, the World Cup qualifiers. And now the break for finally leaking out early, but then can't pick up the ball, or doesn't pick up the ball. So Sagamba brings it up. Boa making a pest of himself defensively out there. And here comes Adonis flying in, misses. Shayaka with the putback, misses. And Eddie now gets the rebound and hands it off to Pamba. Eddie for three, good. Stepped into it. He thought, well, I'm open, might as well take it. And Cote d'Ivoire continue look relatively comfortable leading from the front. Adonis on the baseline. Oh, that was over and back, wasn't it? Oh. Kebe, Rabuo. Now, Eddie, Abua, and Kasana. The miss. And it'll continue to be Cote d'Ivoire basketball. And they get it inside, and Abua again. Boy, he's going to end up with a big number today, folks. He is just continuing to pour in the points. 15 now. And Sagamba. And Cote d'Ivoire threatening to run away. And no execution there from Rwanda. Shot clock violation. And Gasana knocks it away from behind from Abua, and now he's going to take it all the way in. Uses his body well, but then misses the shot. He's got to finish that.
That spot is okay.
Look at this. I think he thought he was just going to lay it up and in. Abua just kind of like decided he was going to try to block it from behind. So another missed opportunity for Rwanda. Number from the line misses. Manzi in there with the rebound. Ndizai. And Gasana for three. And that one was literally on the way down and it came out. Now Eddie. Where's he going? Left his feet. Didn't get the good pass. Now Manzi. And gets the ball in, but the follow and gets in. Good job by Adonis. Gasana reaches around and commits the foul. Hamba. He puts up from just behind the line. Didn't say he's probably more of a pass-first point guard. He's got a nice body on him, that's for sure. Strong. Gasana open. And just cannot get it to go. Gasana. Eddie into the lane and a foul in his eyes. He tried to seal the entry to the lane. Eddie has played much better this window compared to the last window, in my opinion. Interesting to get his thoughts on that. So timeout on the floor. And Rwanda still searching for that, for their rhythm, their top rhythm. It just has eluded. It's gone missing today. You'd think at some point the shots would start to fall for the likes of Gasana.
Cover the area inside because 7 seconds only, and here is Cedar. Let's try big zone. Don't go far for the long pass. You would cover that. Don't let any pass inside. So we kill 2-3 seconds. Then we make them shoot a difficult shot. Therefore, I walk in the middle.
So they're trying to get that zone working. And that has been a problem as well. I mean, it hasn't been a lockdown zone. Fofana gets in the lane. Back outside to Eddie. That's Sagamba. Ndizai goes up with the left hand and banks it in. It's a good start. Jump shot. Good from Fofana. 16 points for him now. And Gasana slipped down and turned the ball over. Here he is. See his footing, just loses it. Now, why are they doing this? To somehow dry the ball off? I mean, it's not like time is a precious commodity at this stage of the game. Plus, you're winning. And three-point attempt from Kebe. Looked like it went off a teammate's hand and out of bounds. Didn't come close to hitting the rim. Well, ball stolen by Bamba. Now Bamba has it. Into the corner. And Eddie just picked up the air ball, put it up and in. And Adonis perhaps a little lackadaisical with that pass. And Dahiro couldn't catch it, but it went out of bounds. Diabate just takes it away from Adonis. And that leads to the flush at the other end. So Bamba throws one down, and the lead is 14. And Gasana has it knocked away. He gets it back. And with Rwanda, you just do not feel the same, I don't know if it's the intensity, the level of commitment that we saw yesterday. Whereas you see that with Cote d'Ivoire. That was not going to be blocked, he said. Don't even think about it. Don't make me put you on a poster, he says. And he did. Diabate comes up high. There's 12 minutes to go in the game, and right now Cote d'Ivoire just in total command. Bamba, good, and he's fouled. And it is going from bad to worse for Rwanda. In fact, I think the foul might have been off the ball foul. So the three-pointer counts, and they maintain the ball. Yeah, it was Ajayi who was fouled off the ball. So Cote d'Ivoire putting it up from deep is Diabate. I mean, this is not an insurmountable lead, but we're just not seeing many signs coming from Rwanda today that they're up for the fight. And the drive and the miss. Diabate drawing some oohs and ahs from the crowd, and then Koulibaly misses. And Kebe goes in for the breakaway, and it just is remarkable. It's like a night and day performance from Rwanda compared to yesterday against Senegal. Mugabe. Well, Shayaka gets the rebound after the miss from the corner from Chris Walter. Kurunziza. Oh, almost a pick. Adonis took a shot there as Bamba was going for the ball. Final 10 seconds of the third quarter. 19-point lead, Cote d'Ivoire. So that's how the third quarter finishes, with Cote d'Ivoire on top and looking good bets today to get their first W here in Lagos.
Rwanda and Cote will be right back for the fourth and the final quarter.
Well, where do you go, Rwanda? I mean, you need some inspiration from somebody. It's got to be a collective effort as well, and just hasn't worked at all, really. The highlights have been few and far between for them. This was one of them. Put back jam from Adonis. It's got to be complete effort. And it just hasn't been today. Well, fourth quarter underway here, and Koulibaly, like him as a player, actually. I thought he did some interesting things yesterday. So a technical foul on Jean-Jacques Nshobo, the man with the longest last name. Point lead for Cote d'Ivoire. And now Desana, no look. And the ball goes out of bounds. Well, that was just a big-time rejection, wasn't it, from Adonis? A not in my house rejection. Diabate. Bamba. Koulibaly. It's important, really, that all these Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire players play, because they got another game tomorrow, so they want to be fresh. But at the same time, you want to win by as much as possible. because of potential tiebreakers and whatnot. But these are the decisions that the coach has to make. When is it time to bring him out, and when is it time to leave him in? How many points do you need? Oh, nice finish after having the technical called on him. Seems to have fired him up a little bit. Kebe for three. That's off. Air ball for the second time. One of his air balls has fallen right into the hands of a teammate. So when it's not going for you, it's just not going for you. And it's not going for Rwanda right now, although a lot of their problems have been self-inflicted. And a lot of that from the effort department. Here's Koulibaly. Goes to work. Koulibaly. Now the turnover. Good block from Adonis. And then hanging on the rim for Bamba. Look, you're not allowed to hang on the rim like that. Come on. You know better. And that leads to a technical. And, you know, it's like we said, when it's not going your way, it's not going your way. And then even Kenny Gasana misses a free throw. Good free throw shooter. Good anticipation again. Ajayi almost coming up with the steal. And good finish that time from Kabange. Been quiet today. Ajayi off the front of the rim. And now the game just kind of losing his discipline a little bit. Jean-Jacques Shobos. There you go. Shobos Waibayo has cut the deficit back to 17. Cote d'Ivoire don't want to take their foot off the pedal really this early in the game.
We have down goes to the wing, build some caps here, Kenny, and you try to do two teams off. Okay. In offense, doesn't matter how shitty is going down. Let us do the things in order. Let's go top of the head. Let's go box. Let's go something else. Let's go Kigali. Kigali, long time in this video. You be the 4 in Kigali.
Yeah,
Okay?
Kigali, let's go.
Fofana with 16 points, kind of put them on their way really today. He's sitting down, resting up. Again, he'll have a game tomorrow he's got to play against Senegal. Good group when you think about it. Very good group. Nigeria, Senegal, Rwanda, and Cote d'Ivoire. Oh, the putback jam from Ajayi. Donis. Diabate. Another turnover. Game is just really sloppy here in the second half, and especially the fourth quarter. Cote d'Ivoire. Bamba. He's going to end up with a big game tonight. 12 points. How long will he stay in? Jean-Jacques Chaubozois is fouled and goes to the free throw line. So which teams are going to finish in the top two in this group? Well, probably the smart money is going to be on Nigeria and Senegal. Each of them already have 7 wins. Actually, each already has. Senegal has, yeah, they've got 7 wins as well because they won today. Nigeria has 7. They could go to 8 wins tonight. There he is. Manzi, they've needed that shot today. If they can hit a few of those, they might actually get back into it. Problem is, he's not really. They don't seem to be too pressed to get him the ball. Diabate, good reach, forces the turnover. And Kabange goes up for the layup. Now, the shot clock buzzer sounded and everybody stopped. But I think they're going to count it. So 64-48. Now back to 16 points, the deficit. That pretty much symbolizes this whole fourth quarter. It just seems like there's been a lack of effort and a little bit of confusion. Koulibaly was going for the putback jam, but was unsuccessful. And Desai puts up the 3. Now back to 13 points, the deficit. The way Cote d'Ivoire are playing right now, you wouldn't bet against him getting this game back into single digits. So Bamba's going to come back into the game for Cote d'Ivoire. It has gotten awfully sloppy. Another turnover. And a great finish from Sagamba. And Cote d'Ivoire are going to call a timeout because they have just absolutely gone into the tank. I mean, what are they doing? And I would not be surprised if the coach is a little bit hot under the collar during this timeout.
Revenez pas sur les mêmes erreurs. Donc d'ici, là on ne va pas jouer parce que justement après
It
on
doesn't
passe
seem
des
too
sorties, c'est
upset.
plus compliqué. Ok? On va pas dire des choses nouvelles. Hein? On joue ensemble. On joue ensemble. Restez concentrés, paniquez pas. Par contre, je ne peux pas accepter qu'on ne défende plus. Qu'on laisse les chutes ouverts, qu'on ne fait pas boxer. Okay? Ça c'est inacceptable.
Allez, on finit. Et les fonds.
We'll see if Rwanda can get it even closer. They've sort of been invited to come back into the game. Pamba's out there. Eddie's out there now. Edgy's out there. Jeha. Eddie. Eddie for three. Ajayi, that was a big time rebound. Well, that was a very important rebound from Ajayi, but then he's able to knock it in. Got a little bit of help from the rim gods. 2:55 remaining, 12-point game. Into Zai. Now they'll try to take some more time off the clock. Well, they had to rush it up at the end, but at least they took some time off the clock. Manzi, nope, that's off. Had Eddie in his face. Yeah, it's going to be hard to make a shot when you're under that kind of pressure. Pamba shakes and bakes. 1:52 to go now, and the clock definitely the enemy for Rwanda. Have to see something exceptional here, I think. And ball bounces away into the hands of Cote d'Ivoire, who now have more of an opportunity to take time off the clock. Not that they're worried about it. Abua goes out and launches an early three. Nice running shot, but they are calling a charge. It's not the first time that Ajayi has drawn a charge here in Lagos. Looked like it was a pretty good shot to me by Sagamba. Have to see it again. I'm not in full agreement of that, but you know what? Tough calls go both ways. I think he was even in the keyway, wasn't he? Kebe gets in, hands it off to Jehi. And he has been a warrior while he's been out there today. Points the lead as Cote d'Ivoire get closer and closer to their third win in the qualifiers. And Bosniak looks a little bit hot under the collar because he came here to win today, and I think believing they had a great chance to win. And the expectations have to be high if you're going to get anywhere in international basketball. And, you know, I mean, they kind of raised the bar for the expectations yesterday with the way they played against Senegal. But today, the effort just wasn't there. Pohohulo hits the three. Zai has it. 20 seconds to go now. Keeps it alive, keeps battling. Abuho now. Over to Eddie. And with the 18-point lead, I think that's probably enough. They're going to call off the Dogs. So Cote d'Ivoire win it. Oh, he's going to put one up and hurt his shooting percentage. They win it 71-53.
It is a beautiful fight between the Cote d'Ivoire and the Rwanda team. The score is...
Look at Abua. This is how you become good. You keep shooting basketballs.
Rwanda 53-4. Ladies and
Before, during, after.
Sit back for the
Takes a lot of work to be a pro. And 71-53, Cote d'Ivoire. Win it convincing. So, 8 more shots inside the arc, and also they did some more damage at the free throw line. Could have done even more damage. $23 turnovers for Rwanda. $13 points for Ndezai, 16 for Fofana. Fofana probably the player of the game. Or Abua. They had 4 steals. Fofana Abua had the 15 points. Bamba 12. So here's some of the highlights from the game. Ndezai's got some potential. All these guys have potential for Rwanda. But, you know, the concentration has to be there. Got to play better defense than they did today. Yesterday, they were able to hit some shots. That was, without question, and even that wasn't enough against Senegal.
So all smiles for Cote d'Ivoire. They will go into tomorrow's final game against Senegal on the back of a win. Thanks for watching, everybody.